Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to DRS. Oops, there we go. Nice. Let's go straight to the track action. Let's use. Let's have a look at Finley. Here's we just get a whole update. Well, after a very chaotic race last week in the Principality of Monaco, somewhere a little bit more calmer on the beaches of Zandvoort. So, that was actually guilty. Just get the last few things in commentary booth, ready to go. There we are. I've got to try. There we go. So see, drivers now into their first laps of the session. A fairly packed group this evening. A couple of new drivers, a couple of people out for redemption after last week. I believe is I think it's one of those rounds where I believe it was a DRS record where I think it. Okay, so I need to try and find the announcement again, but there was something about how. Yeah, apparently in the previous 16 seasons of DRS, there've never been over half the field retirement as Shawnee P sets the early benchmark with a 110.9. Let's take a look at, I believe this is a new driver in HJ Styles. I think my Discord's bugging out because it's giving me notifications where I shouldn't really be getting them. Anyway, we'll take a look. How is H? No, we'll just shortly down to Styles for if you whoever you are, if you prefer a different name, please let us know. Goes straight up to P3 in his first ever qualifying lap though, fair play. A 1:11.9, it's about a second off of what Shawnee's benchmark was. Let's take a look at Sloth, who is currently in the middle of sector 2. Let me get my track map up. Actually, you know, we'll ignore the track map. We'll do the standings report in between the race. Luckily, you'll be stuck with me. I'm all fed and watered this time. I've come prepared in advance. There comes Sloth through the final sector, through the Aaron Lloyd corner. It comes P4, Sime up to P3. We kind of missed that following Sloth around. Take a look at ERC Bird. Now, he's very unlucky last week. He had a good qualifying and the race just did not go his way. I think it's just a few unfortunate bits of just a bit of traffic and the all thing at Monaco where you cannot pass at all. Well, it is pretty much a procession these days at Monaco. We'll take a look at Lord Coleman. It looks to improve from a 1:15.1. I can only assume his lap he kind of backed out halfway of. Here he comes through Bocht 10. Well, we call it 10. I don't even know what 10 is in Dutch. And then we're into the Hansens chicane. Here he comes. We'll go on board as he comes onto the start finish straight. Wherever is Coleman going to look for himself? He's going to go back. He's going to go provisional pole at the 1:10.7. Anybody else potentially threatening this time? We've got Smugget. Ooh, he's a little bit slower through. Is this a lap he's backed out of, or is he run out of battery? It's a 1:11.7 for Smugget as he tries to get out of the way of, I think that is Mr. Pickle. Now, Mr. Pickles, it seems he has dropped to a reserve role for this season. Let's take a look. Mr. Pickle goes to 15th there. A few people looking for their second opportunity of the session. Looking at how close the field is. Now, let's see, we got basically first down to 12, all within first down to 12, basically all within a second. Oh, there's a McLaren in the gravel. Then it's just Deadlaw trying to get out of the way. Let's take a look at Joker now in the Mercedes. He comes through sector 2 here. It's a very, I wouldn't say it's a short lap, but it's a very quick lap. Example. It's going to be interesting how the batteries hold up over the 2.6 miles of this circuit. Circuit Zandvoort, it's been through many names. I think the current name for it is the Mascot Circuit Zandvoort. Also been called CM.com Circuit Zandvoort and Circuit Park Zandvoort. It's kind of its most iconic name, I guess. This Joker goes up to P4 while being yapping away there. Centra Finley up to provisional pole as well. We completely missed that. I was yapping away there. Let's take a look at Shawnee. I think Shawnee backed out, is he? What about Syme? Let's take a look at Syme here in the Cadillac. Last weekend's I don't know what I'm on about with a weekend. Last week's race winner in Monaco. I'm not sure. I really messed my thing up here. become smug through the kind of chicane in the middle of the lap here. I think he's backed out of this lap. Let's take a look at Alan Newt in the other Audi. On board here. Goes through turn 9. And then to turn 10. There's a few drivers just on this, or just drive around the side there out the way. As our Newt seems to be improving at the moment. And I've noticed Six Pompano has joined the lobby. Now, last time I saw Six Pompano in DRS, I believe it was Monaco a couple seasons ago, when he was still involved in the commentary duties. And he'll have a bit of work to do from, well, I'm assuming his 20th place when he... yeah, he's going to have his work cut out in 20th there, but be interesting to see. He's anybody on the lap. We'll look at Frosty as he comes through sector 1, maybe he's a little bit down. What about Swanson? Swanson, let's see, he's going to trigger the beam for sector 2 in a moment. He's a little bit down, but it's nothing too much to worry about. You can get a good final 2 corners here. Here he comes through Aaron Lundijk. Goes up to P4. It's still looking very, very close in this field. Again, it's still 14 drivers within a second of each other. Still just less than 5 minutes left in the session, so there's still time for us all to change. We'll look at HJ Styles in the McLaren. It looked like he was on a good run through sector 1. Take a look at him now as he comes out of turn 10 down towards Hans Ernst. He's 2/10 up on his time. Let's see now, can he keep it up through the final corner? It's a very crucial. If anything, the Ari Lundijk banked corner isn't the main concern. It's the corner before Kumo. I think your exit from Kumo can make or break the lap here in Zandvoort. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Shawnee. Now, where is Shawnee in the championship at the moment? Shawnee is currently P2 in the overall championship. Now, it wasn't the best round at Monaco for him, only 8 points scored, whereas his teammate and championship leader KD Races scored 18, but there's a 9-point gap in the championship between them as it stands. Now, it's going to be interesting how this will... How many rounds have we got left? I feel like I should know this off the top of my head. This is round 4, so we have 8 rounds left after this evening. So maybe... and then I was going to say, take a look at some Shawnee now to pole position by just under 0.02 of a second. Good evening, Mr. Senna. I've just about only just seen your message. I know what a great host I am. But look at that front row at the moment. They're all separated by just less than 0.04 of a second on that front row. I say front row, it's the front three. In my head I'm thinking like it's a MotoGP grid where they're 3x3, but no. Let's see. Take a look. Anybody on a lap? Only's getting out the way. Maybe Joker. Is Joker on a lap? Take a look at Smug Git. It's just about to start his final lap, I'll assume. This is? Yes. It probably will be when we can see the timer. Yes, it's going to be his final attempt of the session. It's very encouraging to see how close the field is getting in DRS. You know, the fact that we've got 15 drivers all within a second of the pole time. Take a look at Smug Git. Is it actually? We'll take a look at Lord Coleman. Never mind. He goes and pushes the boundary for pole position higher at 10.3, which is nearly half a second quicker. So no, 0.4 quicker. My maths are. Rapid maths ain't doing me well there. Look at Finlay, who is coming to the final sector on his final lap. Really pushing it on the exit of Como. Through Ari Landijk. Birds up to 4th. Where does Finlay go? It's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. Unless anyone can threaten the time. It doesn't look like Simon's going to be threatening it at the moment. Swanson's backed out as well. It seems like everyone is backed out. What about Al New? What can Al New do? It's up to 7th at the moment. Is there any other people improving? Look at Sloth. Don't know if Sloth's... He's in 14th at the moment. I think that's everyone. Has set a time now. The thing is, I was saying about how close DRS is going to get. Obviously, you can see the name that's greyed out at the bottom of the field. Six Pompano in the Haas. Now, I assume it's a one-off race for him tonight. I don't know if he's like sticking around to drive more races. But I mean, he's got a lot of work to do from the back of the grid. If I had a co-commentator, it would be pretty handy to have a bit of a progress report for him. But he's a bloody rapid driver. I gotta give him his credit. But anyway, let's actually move to the people who've set a time in qualifying. Lord Coleman on pole position by nearly 0.4 of a second from his teammate Finlay. Shawnee P in 3rd, Bird in 4th, Simon, Swanson, Newt, Exo, Smug Git and Frosty the top 10. Joker, Kessler, KD Races, The Sloth, Mr. Pickle, Sainsy, Deadlord, HJ Styles, TMK and Six Pompano the rest of the field. Now, just remember, Six Pompano has not set a time because he's elected not to qualify in this race. So now we're going to have a few... Well, this is usually the time when I dip off and get a bit of food before the race, but I'm all well. I managed to plan ahead of time this week, so we can do a championship rundown, I guess. Obviously, I've already mentioned the championship, the two at the top of the championship, KD Races and Shawnee P. Benefiting from a DNF for Coleman in Monaco. Coleman unfortunately dropping 2 places after seemed a bit of a nightmare race for him. But yeah, 9 points is the gap at the top of the overall championship between KD Races and Shawnee P. And I've got to ask a question. It's not going to get answered now unless Senna's able to find out for me. Has an AM ever won the championship in DRS? Coleman P3, Swanson in 4th, Syme in 5th, Sloth 6th, Kessler 7th, Smugget 8th, Bird 9th, and Frosty in 10th. In the constructors, it's Racing Bulls ahead of Ferrari by 19 points at the top of the championship. Cadillac moving up to 3rd, Red Bull dropping down to 4th, Mercedes 5th, Aston Martin 6th, Audi 7th, McLaren 8th, OP 9th, Williams and Haas at the bottom with no points to their name. Now we're going to move to the driver splits. Only 3 splits this season compared to the 4 we've had in the last couple. KD races on top of the AMS by 4 points ahead of his teammate Shawnee P. It's been an interesting thing that they've got. Well, just notice the whole AM class is drivers and their teammates. Easy Life, Kessler, Moxie and Deadlord also in that championship. In the pros, it's Swanson ahead of Sloth by 13 points, Coleman in 3rd, Smugget 4th, Finley 5th and Al Newton 6th. And in the Pro-Ams, Syme is on top of that one by 26 points, ahead of Joker, Frosty in 3rd, the 2 South Africans, Bird and Exo in 4th and 5th, and then we've got Sainsy and TMK at the back in that one. So, let's take a look into... It seems for TMK the boost mode is not working. That's an interesting problem. I don't know. That's something you might need to take up with Smug and Swanson. That, you know, Six has been allowed to race and you and Jax are restricted until the next round, which is Madrid. Let me just take a look at the calendar again, real quick. Unfortunately, this is going to be the last round for a couple of weeks from the looks of things as well, I've just noticed. We have... how many weeks off? We have a 2-week break period, and then we're back on the 25th of August. I've only just noticed that. But no, that... somehow he's had the permission to race with us this evening. I'd assume if Smug and Swanson were not happy with Six Racing, then no doubt he'd probably be asked to retire. Anyway, now onto the formation lap. Let's see what tyres everyone has chosen. Sixth going with an interesting strategy of starting on the softs. I think he's trying to make a bit of a challenge for himself here. Now, for those who aren't kind of familiar with Six Pompano, and now if you've been kind of watching DRS for a while, you know, obviously you've seen the insane pace Senna and Jax Daniels have had. They've basically been in a league of their own, which is probably why they're restricted to, is it 3 rounds this season, I think? But I'd say Six Pompano is probably level, if not, yeah, I'd say he's level on pace with Senna and Jax. Now, I'd assume he's not eligible to score points. That's probably going to be the big thing, considering he's only made the decision to join us about half an hour ago. You know, looking at the rest of the field, it seems to be a split of medium and hard tyre runners. Yeah, it seems about even split when you take out the 2 soft runners of Smug and Six Pompano. You can just see where Six is just past is the overtake detection zone. And then, which is kind of, you can just see it there on the mini map. It's the blue dot going into turn. Fuck, I forgot what the corner is called. Turn 13. That's the one. Anyway. Anyway, the lights slowly are on. It's a long hold, but it's lights out and away we go in Zandvoort. And it seems to be the Red Bulls have stuck ahead at the front. They're nearly 3 wide for 3rd place there as they're coming out of turn 1. And then we go through Hugenholt and then up the run towards Shavlak. And the Red Bulls have absolutely gone. They've pulled the pin straight away. It's getting a bit it's getting a bit spicy in the back there. Look a few places back. I can see there's an Aston Martin side by side. I think Simon's dropped backwards a bit off the start. He was in. Oh, there's a bit of a look for Mr. Pickle. Didn't quite work. He seems to have lost more than he gained there. And we got Styles, who's now side by side with him. He's trying to hang around the outside of Kumo. And he looks to maybe just got ahead to go through Aaron Leindijk. And poor Sloth is trapped behind them. Because they're too wide, there's not really much room for him. Six hitting immediately. I think he is this a. Oh, he's retired immediately. Has he been told to get out? Part of me thinks he wasn't supposed to race. Anyway, Coleman 1.2 seconds at the front as he comes to about halfway through the 2nd lap here. It'll be interesting if I get a message from Six Pompano in Twitch chat about why he retired on the 1st lap there. But anyway, let's overtake is going to be enabled now. Well, I think it was enabled a lap ago, but anyway, Coleman, he's setting a decent pace at the front here. Bird now up to P3, we'd missed that one. Now, the championship leader is currently 11th. KD races in the other racing ball. So it's not been an ideal start for our overall leaders. Shawnee doing pretty well to hold off Swanson there. Now, I'm not too sure what yeah, I'm not too sure where Zandvoort is in terms of the energy management. I'd assume it's quite a high usage circuit, as Finley seems to be under a bit of pressure from the Cadillac of Bird. Be interesting to see where Bird is quicker. 2-second lead now for Coleman at the front. But no, I'd have thought of Zandvoort as a very high usage circuit. Not many hard braking zones, and it's very high speed, a lot of high speed corners. Finley doing very well to hold off the Cadillac at the moment. Same can be said for Sean, he's holding off the Ferrari of Swanson for 4th place. There was a little bit of a tap in the rear of Shawnee by Swanson there, and I think Swanson's going to use his overtake mode, surely. Is he? Oh, he's just got enough of the inside there. But the outside line is very effective at that first corner. Shawnee using it to his advantage. But look at the drive Swanson had on the inside of Hugenholtz. Oh, they're getting very, very close on the run to turn 7. And while we were looking at that, Bird has now got ahead of Finley for 2nd. As a move further back, Exo through on Simon. Simon's dropping a few places there. Not been the start the race winner from last week has wanted. Yeah, it's not been the ideal race there. I think Dedalus had a bit of an incident further back in the field. We'll move back up the front, and it seems Bird is taking time out of Coleman's gap. It's about 2/10 has dropped. A few drivers pitting already as well. We've got Joker and HJ Styles in the pits. Finley managing to stick with Bird at the moment as well. Let's take a look a bit further back. It's getting a bit close between Swanson and Al Newt here. Swanson again having a bit of a run. Oh, he might. I thought he was going to try and get a bit of a run onto Shawnee then. He's finding an interesting line through the Hugenholz. Oh, I don't know if that was a bit of lag, but it looked like some contact. And HJ Styles, he's out. And it brings out the safety car on lap 7 of this race. So the field are going to be bunched together. The race is neutralised. From the look of where his car marker was, as Joker's taken a speeding penalty under the safety car for some reason. But look at where he went off. I wonder if he's caught himself on the curb on the exit of turn 13. I'm just going on board with Coleman to show you there. If you catch the curb there, you can go Tony Hawking on it, and it is, if you know what I mean by the Tony Hawking thing, it's you're pretty much grinding the bottom of the car on the curb. You can't go anywhere. And unfortunately, that corner it just chucks you straight into the, unless you can scrub off some speed, it just chucks you straight in the wall, and that's the end of your race. So now, with a few drivers pitting, Bird takes the lead of this race. Excuse me for yawning there. Just waiting on, I think it's just Joker and Deadlord to rejoin the back of the field. Or we're going to go straight underway this time. We'll find out now, usually. I think we are going to get maybe one more lap of safety car. Unless the lights suddenly go out now, and no, I think we are getting... Oh no, we are getting a restart, actually. So now Bird, he's got the field in his control. Ben Mylander relinquishing his control of the field. Now it's going to be old hards versus new hards, from the looks of things. Few drivers pitted for hard tyres on that previous run. Bird's just carefully picking his moment to drop the hammer and go for restart. He's got to be careful he doesn't leave it too late. Everyone seems to be backing up very much. I think he's now chosen to go. As now Joker comes in to serve his drive-through penalty. Now Bird left it very, very late to get this race restarted, but I think, as far as I'm aware, it was well within what's considered legal, I guess. So now Birdie's already pulled a second and a half on this field. There's now Shawnee trying out. Oh, and that's Finley making contact with Shawnee P. And we're back on the safety car for... I don't even know what's happened there. TMK seems to be in the gravel. Al Newt taking a severe contact penalty. Now I've completely missed that. Seems a bit of an odd thing to bring the safety car out over. In comes Al Newt, he's serving the penalty. That's... Interesting. Just while we have a little bit of a break in the race, let's just do the whole party reset thing. There we go. For those not aware of what I've just done, it's just a little thing I do. I usually just sit in a Xbox party on my own. If I'm commentating on my own, obviously. Just so if there's any drivers who are not in parties with other drivers or whatever, they don't get to hear my voice all race long. Is EXO choosing to pit while in the safety car queue? This race seems to be getting a bit weird. Shawnee leaving a big gap to Bird. I don't know, I think... right, I have no idea what's going on here. You think you've seen it all in DRS, and then... I have no idea anymore. Simple as that, really. Shawnee on the grass. Is he trying to let Finley back through? Oh, as he has a bit of a moment. I have no idea what's going on here, but you're gonna... I don't know if he's trying to let Finley back through after the contact that was made, or if... Is he having some wheel problems or something? I don't... Since when could you... Hey? Did he just deploy a straight mode on the safety car? I have never seen that before. Ah, sounds like you can. Drop your straight mode wings. I never knew you could do that. I always thought once safety car come out, it's a bit like overtake mode, it gets deactivated. Now we can have another restart here. Now let's see it. Does Bird change his tactics for the restart here? Because it's the old thing. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. What does he think? Can he try and... I think he's decided to go now. He's caught Shawnee napping. And we are back to green flag. And hopefully we can at least stay green. And for whatever reason, the game still thinks we're in the safety car in the top corner. Ignore all that. There's a yellow flag. There's too much going on for me to keep an eye on F1. Mr. Pickle up to 10th. It's doing pretty well so far. Just get a position. Where's the position change? Up 5. Never mind that. Look at Sloth up 10 into 4th place at the moment. Currently behind Centra Finley. I think Sloth is side by side. Is he going to get through? No. Finley just keeps ahead. Into, I guess you can call it a chicane. The Hans Ernst Bocht, as it's officially known on the track map I've got on my phone here. But it looks like it's going to be an inevitability that Sloth is going to get through. Maybe not. But Sloth looking very quick here. He's going to try and... He's got to try and think careful. He needs to... Obviously plan his attack on Finley, but the thing that it kind of gets on my nerves about the... Oh, as Coleman chucks it up the inside through turn 5 and gets ahead of Sloth. And is he going to get Finley as well? Not quite. That was an interesting move. You've got to be very brave to go side by side, kind of through that kind of curved straight from turn 3 all the way up to turn 7. But Coleman looking very, very good in. Kind of needs to. They gotta remember, Coleman was on pole position. He had the early pit stop, and he's kind of been trapped a bit because of the safety cars. And he's through on Finley now into turn 1. Sloth's trying to see if they can benefit from it too. And next one for Coleman is going to be Shawnee, and everyone seems to be getting that turn 3 much better than Shawnee is. But they're going to be side by side up the run to turn 7. Shawnee's got the inside, but Coleman's going to go round the outside. And he's going to be up to P2. He's now got 2.2 seconds to catch ERC Bird, who is currently in the lead of this race. As we are slowly approaching the halfway mark of the race. We're about 2 laps away from that point. Now it'd be interesting to see what's happened to Simon this one, because it says there, dropped 6 positions. Again, I'm not too sure what's happened there, but look at Mr. Pickle. Seems like they're going to try and get a move on Smug Git, but Smug Git smartly defends it into turn 1. But, oh, there's a little very interesting approach to overtaking for Pickle. I think he's going to be forced to give the place back. But now they're side by side with Smug Git, and I think Swanson's going to try and get involved too. Swanson around the outside of Mr. Pickle through turn 5, sorry. And now, let's try and keep an eye on. There's too much to keep an eye on. Coleman has already put a second. He's already gained the second on Bird. There's a yellow flag, and I think that's Deadlord has gone off. Brings out another safety car in this race. And I think that if the limit is still where I think it is, I believe. Yeah, if the safety car limit is where I think it is, as Bird pits Coleman 2, and I assume Shawnee, Finley, Sloth will follow as well. In fact, it's probably one of those KD races, and I think Frosty have chosen to stay out. And Smug Git too. There's a couple drivers also staying out there. No, if the limit is still where I think it is on safety cars, I think... Is it still 3 or is it 4 now? So, if it's still 3, then we're basically, if anything else happens, it's VSCs for the rest of the race. But maybe, So now the championship leader, KD Races, promoted to the lead after this current safety car window. Now we got to look down to 8th for our first car on fresh tyres. But not only are they on fresh tyres, they're also on mediums now. This is going to be interesting because 18 laps to go in this race. Once we cross the line in a few seconds time, we have passed the halfway point. And I gotta wonder, will those mediums make it to the end, or is there going to be one more stop potentially for softs towards the end of the race? KD Races nearly passing Burn Myland, the virtual Burn Mylander there. I wonder if there's going to be a quick safety car, maybe? I'd assume we're going to get a restart. If it's not this time, it's definitely the next one. And indeed, it is going to be a restart this lap. So now KD Race is going to be the one responsible for getting this back underway. Weaving on the approach to Kumo. Still weaving a bit through Ari Leyendijk, turn 14. Now, when does he lift the anchor and go? Oh, it's contact further back. We just caught that. It's almost a Mugello. It's almost a Mugello type accident. Now it's Joker out and TMK in the wall. That is a very Mugello 2020 style accident there. We just caught it in the background. I don't even know where to watching this one anymore. Mr. Pickle and Frosty side by side on the run up to turn 6 and 7. There's still a yellow flag. Deadlord stopped at turn 3. He's spun again as we just moved on board with him briefly. Now I do wonder, I think we have reached the safety car limit in this race. Well, that must be some sort of confirmation at least that we've passed that limit. Or reached the limit, should I say. Now, the battle for the lead. KD Races and Mr. Pickle. It's Mr. Pickle's first race of the season as a reserve. I think the first driver to drive a Haas this season as well. I'm not really going to count Six Pompano since they've retired. And I'm not sure what the deal was there. Shawnee in the pits now, and what's happened there? There's a yellow flag. What has happened? There's so much going on, we can't even keep an eye on it. Is Kessler through on Swanson? What is going on in this race? And now KD Races defending from Pickle as they come through turn 10. Pickle gonna use the straight mode and he might not have a mover, but it's gonna definitely try and get as close as they can for that run down the start finish straight. Yeah, I don't even know what to watch anymore. There's that much going on here. The KD Races is going to extend the championship lead at this rate. With Shawnee out to the points, and it might even put Coleman back ahead. As we talk about Coleman, he's just got ahead of Smug Git up to 5th place now. He's got the other Audi to deal with just ahead of him. He's using that tighter exit off of turn 3 to go side by side through turns 4 and then and ahead as they go into turn 7 now. As Pickle going to have a look into turn 9. It's going to be on the wrong side for turn 10, but can definitely set up for the next straight mode zone maybe. Might have gone a bit too wide to have a look at turn 11. While we were looking at that, Coleman out to P3 as well. Oh, Pickle into the gravel. He lets Coleman through. And I thought we were going to get a bit of a calmer race than Monaco, but this has just been as hectic. Now let's take a look here. We've now got 2 Red Bull Ford powered cars at the front of this race. KD Racing is almost blocking that tighter exit for Coleman there. Probably wasn't intentional, but Coleman not being able to get the run off of turn 3 as he expected. Shawnee P now with the fastest lap of the race. Coleman trying to have a look into turn 8. Not quite close enough. As KD races, he's going to hold the inside line. Coleman's going to try the outside. Not quite enough of a run. But are we going to see Coleman have a look into turn 11? No, he's going to stick behind as they go through the Hans Ernst chicane. Trying to use... I mean, hasn't it? Looking at his dashboard on the wheel, he's got near full battery as he's side by side with KD Races down the start-finish straight. KD's just got his nose ahead at the moment. A few more drivers pitting in the background, but Lord Coleman to the lead of the race. And now he's going to be the one who's going to make a bit of a gap at the front. We'll move a bit further into the field, see what other drama's going on. You can see Simon, he's just on the edge of the points here. He's just got Sloth ahead of him. I need to figure out what happened to... Oh, his Deadlord spins at turn 12. And he's brought out another safety car. So maybe there is no such thing as a safety car limit anymore. Coleman's staying out. KD and Frosty coming in. Now this is going to be an interesting choice. There's going to be pretty much at least a 10 lap restart when we do get back underway. And nearly everyone is pitted. Kessler with a speeding penalty in the pits there. And Deadlord choosing to retire in the pit lane there. It's going to be a double DNF for McLaren this evening. Now, I've got to agree with you, Senna, there. What a drive from Coleman this evening. After the way Monaco went for him, you know, with being taken out on the first lap, and did he ever give it? Did he ever? I mean, it would help if I got the words out. I don't know if he ever gave us an explanation to why he got so many drive-through penalties and eventually got disqualified. Because the last I heard, did they ever give us an explanation for it, or is it just I don't know, I can't find it. If he did say anything. But no, I mean, first of all, the pole position time he set for this race, the 10.3, I think it was. That was an amazing time. It's a bit of a shame the extreme category has been kind of done away with this season, because I think he definitely would have been amongst those extreme drivers. I don't know. We could potentially. No, we're not going to get a restart this time with. Probably not. Well, it's probably not with Kessler and TMK still not on the field. I mean, Symes recovered pretty well. He's currently P2. I know he's going to have people with newer tyres behind him. And even KD Racers didn't have the best of qualifyings, but he's up to P3. He's the first of the drivers with the fresh tyres. I think he's going to be one to look out for on the restart here. They're going to have at least 9 laps to go, I think now. Or at the most, 9 laps to go. As Kessler's back into the pits. Hopefully it's not. We're not going to be on the safety. Hopefully this safety car shouldn't last too much longer. But if we thought the last 26 laps were crazy enough, I think the next 9.5 or whatever we've got left when we get going, they're definitely going to be some of probably the most action-packed laps of the race. Safety car in this lap. We're going to get a 9-lap dash to the finish. It's almost a mini sprint at Zandvoort. So now Coleman in charge of the restart. When's he going to go? He's still holding it. He's still holding it. And now he's gone. Maybe catching a few people off guard. But away we go. And that looks like Mr. Pickle. Oh, Mr. Pickle goes round at turn 1. It looked a bit ambitious from the reserve driver in the Haas. Coleman's already put a second on Syme. As they now come to turn 7. And we're gonna. Is this Smugget's gonna have a look up the inside of Shawnee P? And he's absolutely muscled him out the way. Shawnee P now holding off Bird. Now these are going to be crucial points that Shawnee will be losing here if he gets passed by Bird. He's already going to score. I think he's already quite low in the score. Yeah, he's low in the scoring as it is. And I think that's Kessler's at the moment at the chicane. But look at that. Coleman, he's absolutely checked out. He's not wanting to be involved in the chaos of a sprint to the finish. KD races up the inside at Tarzan. And he's ahead of Syme, using those fresh tyres to their advantage. And now Syme's going to have Frosty to deal with soon as well. As they come for Shea Black. There's 2 seconds for KD Races to catch Lord Coleman. There's still time enough to do it, and he's got the tyre advantage. As you try to look at the inside of Frosty through turn 10. And where's Finley? Finley 7th. Has not been the race he's wanted after having that front row start. I don't know if he's been carrying damage. I think he had the contact with Shawnee earlier in the race. I don't know if there was a bit of damage from that, or if he's just been caught in a group. There's now Frosty ahead of Syme. There's Shawnee back ahead of Bird now. He's doing pretty well to defend from the Cadillac. Oh, his Bird had to look up the inside. I think he's kept going. But I don't know if Shawnee expected the move from the... But KD Races, he's pulled a couple tenths in on Coleman. Now, this could get tasty in the last 5 laps of the... Oh, should I say last 6 laps of the race, should I say. He's already pulled the gap back out a little bit. So it could have just been a small mistake, I don't know. KD's looking pretty good in clean air. I say clean air, it's slightly clean air. It's like Coleman has got the carrot on the back of his Red Bull. And now Shawnee in the wall, and now it's back under safety car. Very unlucky for, well, the driver who was P2 in the overall championship going into this race. Unfortunately, it's going to be nil point. So now, this is going to be a very interesting finish to this race. Now, if you've got fresh softs left, surely you take them now. KD choosing to stay out, interestingly. I think everyone who pisses under that last restart, they've all stayed out. Coleman's going to be at the back of the field, but he will have fresh softs to use. But will he have the time to carve through the field? I don't think he will. Even if nearly half the field, or nearly everyone in front of him, has got slightly worn medium or hard tyres, it's going to be very difficult for him to make up. Or to pass 12 cars. Swanson, interestingly, on 17 lap old hards. Yeah. Yeah, I think Coleman... Looking at how long is left, I think there's going to be at least, well, at the most, 2, maybe 3 laps of a restart here. Because we've got to consider that, obviously, we've got to wait for Kessler to rejoin the back of the field under the safety car. We could have a 3-lap dash. Now, unless he's got unless he's got a crazy pace advantage, he's not making it back to the lead in this race. He might be lucky if he gets back to the top 10. Now, if he does... Oh no, he's gained a couple spots from a few others in the pits. TMK and Pickle choosing to pit. It's made Coleman's job slightly easier, but yeah, you are very much right there. And I think he's thrown that win away. He has thrown the win away. There we go. We got it out in the end. It's very much a Ferrari and the Ferrari strategy almost. Now I think we might gonna get I think we're gonna get the restart this time. One with the time we've got left, or with the laps we've got left, and I think Mr. Pickle should just rejoin the back of the field just in time. Yes, we will. So I think two drivers we need to keep an eye on in this: Syme, Swanson, and Coleman. Syme and Swanson on much more, or tyres with much more wear than the drivers around them. But also Coleman, he's chosen to pit from the lead. He had a convincing lead and not many laps on those tyres. But let's see what will happen in the last 3 laps here in Zandvoort. KD Races is going to leave it a little bit late to get away. He's still waiting. We're just going to come past this pit entry point. Still weaving. And he's now restarted literally just on the start-finish line, almost. It's probably the latest you can leave it whilst being legal. But KD, he's almost mastered the restart there. Now Coleman already up to 10th. I wish we could have like a split screen thing to keep an eye on both Coleman and the lead battle. But look at Frosty in the Aston Martin. Now Aston Martin not having much luck in real life. But we can see Frosty in 2nd, Exo in 4th. As the yellow flags just come out. And it looks like, oh, it's Bird. Bird's had a bit of a spin somewhere, as it's all stacking up right at the rear of the field there. But let's see. The championship leader in the lead of this race at the moment, KD Races, he's pulled a bit of a gap, 6/10. It's not quite safe. But he'll be safe enough at least for a lap or so. Even if Frosty has got overtake mode, it's not going to make a difference from, well, now 8/10 back. Let's take a look at Exo. Is he going to make this a double Aston Martin podium? Now the South African, he's chasing down Syme. He's got a bit of a tyre advantage compared to Syme. Yes, he's on a harder compound, but he's got the tyre life advantage. They're both going to be equal in terms of overtake mode because they've both taken it. Exo trying the outside. Oh, he's in the gravel. Hans Ernst. He's possibly lost his opportunity. Finley looking up the inside into turn 13. Not quite close enough to get past. Now Frosty. Oh, I think Frosty might have just lost the overtake mode. But Coleman now up to P6. We said we we're going to try and keep an eye on him. He's up the inside. He had a look at the inside of his teammate, Finley. Now, how does Finley play this? Is he going to play the team game and let Coleman through? I think he has. Or is that just because he went a bit deep into turn 1? Simon Exo, they're side by side again. Exo was also on the grass. Coleman, he's going to use his soft tyres. He's looking always around the Aston Martin of Exo. But he's stuck behind. He's probably going to be stuck behind until they get to the exit of turn 10 probably. Now KD, he seems to be a very safe P1 at the moment. It's 1.2 seconds in it. Coleman having a look up the inside of turn 10. Exo, he's going to get the slipstream from Syme. He's going to stay ahead. He's going to still be P4. Coleman, he's made a bit of a mess of the Hans Ernst chicane. TMK's got a tight corner cutting penalty. There's a yellow flag come out. Sainsy and I think TMK have had it coming together. But we're going to come away from that for a moment. KD Races, the championship lead. He's going to extend his advantage at the top of the championship as he wins in Zandvoort. And is it going to be a double Aston Martin podium? They're all very, very close as they come across the line. EXO managed to take P3. Coleman managing to get fourth, and Paul Syme has lost out on 2 positions. And breathe. Well, I thought we couldn't get a more hectic race than Monaco last week. That was... Whew. Well, after that absolute action-packed race, KD Races from 13th on the grid takes the win in Zandvoort from Frosty and EXO, making it a double Aston Martin Aramco podium. Lord Coleman and Syme just missing out. Finley, Alnute, Swanson, Smudgate and on the Sloth, the rest of the point scorers just missing out on points. Mr. Pickle, he had a very good performance as a reserve. Kessler, Bird, Sainsy, TMK, and we got Shawnee, Deadlord, Joker, HJ Styles and 6 Pompano our retirements. I think I'd seen Shawnee got the fastest lap in that one as well, despite his retirement. And I think the stewards are going to have their work cut out for them in this one, because that was... they're going to have a lot to look through, I think. A lot. Got a lot to look through, I think, now. Well, I'm going to go have a lie down and probably... need to hook myself up to like a oxygen mask or something after that. Anyway, thank you all for watching once again. Thank you for supporting the DRS League. If the calendar is correct, I think we've got a few weeks off now. So I think we've got 2 weeks as a break, and then we are coming back for Madrid on the 25th of August. Yeah, so sorry for me being like really slow at the moment. My brain's still trying to process everything. Yeah, so yeah, Madrid next round, 25th of August, 8 PM UK time as the usual. I think we do get Senna and Jax back for that round, so that might get interesting. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and probably see you all in a few weeks on the 25th. Thank you, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.